There is no question that the Ryzen 7 9850X3D is going to join the pantheon of amazing gaming CPUs. With all the reviews out now and some time under its belt, the question may remain though, is AMD's newest chip the best CPU for you? So this is going to be a buyer's guide to answer your questions like, who is this CPU really for and who isn't it for? When does the 9850X3D make sense as an upgrade, and is this CPU good news for PC gamers? We're going to talk about that and more right here, right now on Robeytech, after a word from our sponsors.
This video is brought to you by our official Robeytech build mat. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll probably recognize it. We love these things. They're super thick and durable, and they're absolutely huge in size, measuring at 5.5 millimeters thick and 24 by 48 inches wide. This one that we have right here, man, this has been in the studio for like 4 years and it's still holding up great, no problem. We've also included all sorts of useful graphics showing different PC form factor sizes, including schematic diagrams and connectors you'll encounter probably during your PC build. Not to mention, there's plenty of open space for screw and tool organization. We designed it like this so no matter what skill level of builder you are, it could be a helpful tool for pretty much everyone. Now, you can find these build mounts for sale on our Newegg store, and it's a great way to support us directly if you enjoy the content we make. Thank you so much for your support, and let's get back to the video.
You've probably seen a lot of data on the CPU already. Reviews are out and there are a lot of angles that have already been covered, but you may still be struggling with what I imagine is why you clicked on this video. I know we're a little late to the release party. I mean, we got ours before embargo and we've actually already done all of our testing, but we wanted to take some time with AMD's latest addition to the X3D family, compare our data with others, build with it, and look at the whole landscape to solidify and simplify our answer to one of the biggest questions we've heard from you: should I buy one? That answer is going to depend on a lot of factors, but at a ground level, what are we actually looking at here? The 9850X3D is essentially a 9800X3D with a 400 MHz faster max clock speed and a $20-ish higher price tag. I think Jay from J2 kind of nailed it when he said this, that the 9850X3D is a refinement of AMD's manufacturing process that gave us the 9800X3D. It's achieving higher speeds on the same architecture and at the same 120 watt TDP. So all good things here, but good doesn't mean good for you. But before we dive in too deep, we do want to say a big thank you to AMD for letting us check out the Ryzen 7 9850X3D so we could share what we learned about it with you. And with that, let's start with one of the first questions that comes up a lot. Should I buy a 9850X3D if I already have a 9800X3D, or I'm running a 7800X3D, should I upgrade to a 9850X3D? Okay, I know that's two questions, and while I have opinions, let's look at some test data first. We look across 8 titles, we can definitely see some uplift at 1080p from both the 7800X3D and the 9800X3D up to the 9850X3D. But the significance of the uplift really depends on the title. For example, in games like Assassin's Creed Shadows and Black Myth Wukong, the difference between the 3 CPUs is negligible. At max, we're talking about 3 FPS difference on average, and in Black Myth Wukong, the 7800X3D actually had the advantage. However, when you start looking at competitive titles like Marvel Rivals and Modern Warfare 3, that's where you start seeing the 9850X3D really show that extra max clock speed at work. Overall, what we're seeing is around a 3 to 4% average improvement over the 9800X3D in our tests, and around a 10 to 11% average uplift over the 7800X3D at 1080p. But when we bump things up in resolution to 1440p and increase the visual settings, which is far more true to life for a growing number of people, aside from a few outliers like Marvel Rivals and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the differences are less prominent. And from everything we're seeing at 4K, when your GPU is having far more substantial impact than your CPU, if you already have an X3D chip, is spending $500 for a 1.5 to 6.5% average gain really worth it? Truthfully, and you may not like this answer, if you're already using a 9800X3D, this is probably not the processor for you, unless you are the 0.002% of people that actually make it into professional esports and you absolutely need to squeeze out every single frame possible at 1080p. The 9850X3D offers a marginal upgrade over the 9800X3D. But what about the gains over the 7800X3D? Well, that has me asking a different question. With the current gap in price between the 7800X3D and the 9850X3D, would the same dollar amount close the gap between the GPU tiers? In other words, if you spent less on your CPU, could you afford a more powerful GPU, and would that upgrade actually make more sense? This one cuts both ways. On one hand, if you're looking at gaming at 1440p or 4K, this question is an essential one to ask. The other way this one cuts is that the GPU prices, as of right now, are not amazing. So this one is a more market-dependent question. So let's look at where things stand today. On the CPU side, the 9850 X3D lands at $499. This is $20 higher than the launch price of the 9800 X3D. As for the 7800 X3D, we've seen that one going for as low as $384. At the high end, we're looking at a $115 difference between the 9850 X3D and the 7800 X3D. The good news for gamers is that it looks like the 9850 X3D is actually driving down the prices of the 9800 X3D and the 7800 X3D, which is finally some good news. But how long will this last? That's kind of anyone's guess. Unfortunately, the difference isn't going to get you from a 5070 Ti to a 5080, at least not in this economy. But we're not done shuffling numbers here. Let's take a look and step outside of the X3D box for a second. If you're planning on building a gaming PC with an RTX 5070, choosing a 9700X instead of an X3D chip would give you enough margin in your budget to upgrade from a 5070 to a 9070 XT without you having to go after your wallet's kneecaps for more money. For context, just looking at the GPU performance alone, this could net you around a 20% jump in performance. Alternatively, if you really want to stay with an NVIDIA GPU, stepping back to a 9600X would get you close to a 5070 Ti, but it would leave your wallet a little bit more bruised. As for the difference in CPU performance at 1440p or 4K running at high-level presets, whatever performance gaps you would see between a 9600X and a 9850 X3D, those gaps almost definitely would be made up in the jump from a 5070 to a 5070 Ti or to a 9070 XT, with a few rare caveats, of course. To be clear, I'm not saying your CPU doesn't matter here. What I'm saying is that there will always be performance variation thanks to things like clock speeds, and there are going to be games that absolutely take advantage of AMD's 3D V-Cache. So the 9850 X3D's benefits aren't non-existent, they are just going to be really situational, especially when you start bumping up resolution. That said, we're not seeing the 9850 X3D make enough of a difference in performance at 1440p with anything lower than an RTX 5080 to make us think, pair this chip with whatever GPU you want and win. Remember, the goal of finding an answer to our original question is to figure out what's going to be the best for you. And in some cases, this chip isn't it. And in other cases, you know what, it absolutely might be. So before you click the buy button, look at the games you're playing as well as the resolution you're playing them at, and then compare that uplift against the cost and benefits of a GPU upgrade. From what we're seeing today, a GPU jump will likely be more cost effective and provide more performance improvements versus a CPU upgrade. But maybe you're hearing this and you're thinking, Roby, I don't care about gaming, I care about creator applications and productivity. Okay, maybe you wouldn't say something like that, but I hear you all the same. Chances are, if you're even considering a 9850 X3D and you care about creator applications, your PC's main function is probably gaming first and some content creation sprinkled in. So I'm going to give you some high-level comments, but I'd encourage you to check out Puget Systems' review of the 9850 X3D because it's very content creator focused. Overall, the 9850 X3D has a pretty strong showing in creator applications. It's about 3% better in Photoshop than the 9800 X3D. It's on par with the 9950 X3D in Premiere Pro, and it's dead even with the 9800 X3D in DaVinci Resolve Studio. In instances where higher clock speeds have an impact on overall performance, the 9850 X3D's 400 MHz bump is just that, a bump over the 9800 X3D. But let's not forget about a similarly priced CPU that has a higher core count and higher max boost clock, and that is the Ryzen 9 9950X. If your application takes advantage of multi-threaded operation, the 9950X would probably be a better fit if productivity is one of your PC's critical functions. Now, why the 9850 X3D is more than capable in content creator applications, you have to ask yourself if a couple percent jump in gaming performance outweighs the hours of processing or rendering time saved over the lifespan of your PC, and maybe you may need to make a different choice. Okay, let's bring all of this home. If there are better value propositions for gamers and content creators, can we really nail down who this processor is the right fit for? This one left us scratching our heads because AMD's X3D chips have been amazing for gaming rigs in general, and seeing improvements is always a welcome thing. While this may be the new best all-around gaming CPU on the market, the title comes with a few caveats. And as much as I hate to say this, but with the market being where it is, it might be years before a CPU like this makes sense for most people. If you're like me and you game at 1440p or even 4K at high visual settings, the performance uplift you are going to see from the 9850 X3D over a non-X3D chip is going to be marginal. And that's when paired with a really high-end GPU like the RTX 5080 or the RTX 5090. Whether you're building fresh or you're building a pre-built system, you need to ask yourself whether you're better off spending your budget on a CPU that might net you single-digit performance improvements in FPS, or if you're better off upgrading your GPU, which could get you double-digit performance improvements. Or a third option, are you better off just saving your money? That is the question only you can answer. But what about as an upgrade? Let's say you have a system, 7600X and an RTX 5060. Making a CPU upgrade like this would give you around a 9 to 10% boost in performance on average. But remember, that same $500 would also buy you either a 16 gig RX 9060 XT or get you within $20 of a 16 gigabyte 5060 Ti. Depending on the game, you could see up to a 20% increase in FPS if you upgraded your GPU. Now, in a build like this, every dollar matters, so the better upgrade here is really going to be your GPU. Let's say you're someone who doesn't care about money and you're compelled to live at the bleeding edge of tech. If that's you, you're probably running an RTX 5080 or maybe even a 5090 in your gaming PC. In that case, the 9850X 3D would get you to the precipice, but again, the benefits will largely depend on the titles you're playing and the resolution you're playing at. When we take everything into account, the performance, the pricing, what the 9850X 3D is doing to the CPU market in the X3D family alone, and heck, even the other options available, the 9850X 3D unseats the 9800X 3D as the current go-to GOAT for gaming with market improvements. But it just feels like it came into the world at the wrong time. With this processor, you have to look at the whole picture, especially when you're looking at buying one for yourself. So here's the bottom line. If your system is running a GPU below an RTX 5060 Ti, a 16 gig RX 9060 XT or equivalent, and you're replacing a CPU like a 7600X or lower, I would take the $500 and look at replacing your GPU first. If your PC is already at the top of its game, you're running like a 5080 or 5090 or heck, even a 4080 Super or 4090, and you have $500 burning a hole in your pocket, the 9850X 3D could help squeeze out a little bit more performance out of your current rig. Whichever camp you fall into, just make sure you set your expectations appropriately, and as always, weigh your options to see what's going to be the best value for your dollar and your situation. As we close this one out, we do want to say a huge thank you to AMD for letting us check out this chip. And as always, we want to know what you think. Where do you see the 9850X 3D really excelling? If you were going to buy a 9850X 3D, what are you going to upgrade from? And if you end up picking one up, let us know in the comments below what you actually think about it. Now, while you're down there, if you like this video or you learned something from it, we'd love it if you'd hit those like, subscribe, and notification bell buttons. We have a lot more content like this coming here at Robeytech, Robeytech Live, and all over your favorite social media platforms. And hey, if you have questions or you want to talk about this video, hop into our Discord server over at discord.gg/Robeytech. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.